Many of us grew up with the habit of putting almost everything in the refrigerator, believing it would keep food fresh for longer. However, science shows that certain foods actually lose their taste, in texture, and even nutritional value when stored in cold conditions. For seniors, this is especially important. Some foods change in ways that make them harder to chew, less appealing to eat, or less nutritious, factors that can impact appetite and overall wellness. Others may develop unwanted textures or flavors that discourage healthy eating. In some cases, refrigeration can even cause moisture buildup, which encourages mold or bacterial growth, something older adults with weaker immune systems should take extra care to avoid. By knowing which items are better left on the counter or in a cool pantry, seniors can enjoy food that tastes better, retains more nutrients, and is safer to eat. In the following list, we'll reveal 10 common foods that should never go in the fridge and explain why avoiding cold storage can make a big difference for your health. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this content, please like, comment, and share it with your friends or health groups on social media. Doing so helps spread valuable information and supports the growth of our channel. This video is for informational purposes only and should not be taken as medical advice. Always consult a healthcare professional or registered dietitian for personalized dietary guidance. Now, let's move on to the first food seniors should never refrigerate. Potatoes have been a staple in diets worldwide for centuries, but they require careful handling to maintain their nutritional profile. Storing raw potatoes in the refrigerator might seem like a way to make them last longer, but the cold triggers a process that alters both their flavor and their health impact. When potatoes are chilled below about 45 degrees Fahrenheit or 7 degrees Celsius, the starch inside begins to break down into simple sugars, such as glucose and fructose. While this transformation might not sound harmful at first, it can have significant implications for seniors, especially those managing blood sugar levels. For individuals with diabetes or insulin resistance, the increase in sugar content can cause a more rapid rise in blood glucose after eating. Potatoes already have a relatively high glycemic index, and refrigeration only intensifies this effect. This can lead to spikes in blood sugar, followed by sudden drops, which may cause fatigue, dizziness, and irritability, issues that can be more pronounced in older adults. Over time, repeated spikes in blood sugar can also contribute to cardiovascular strain, nerve damage, and other diabetes-related complications. Beyond the nutritional changes, refrigeration affects the potato's texture. When starch converts into sugar, it alters how the potato behaves during cooking. Instead of becoming light and fluffy when baked or mashed, the flesh can turn gritty or overly dense. In frying, the higher sugar content can cause potatoes to brown too quickly, potentially leading to the formation of acrylamide, a compound linked to certain health risks when consumed in excess. For seniors, avoiding unnecessary exposure to such compounds is a prudent choice. Another often overlooked problem is flavor. Refrigerated potatoes tend to develop an unpleasantly sweet taste that clashes with their natural earthy notes. This flavor shift may make certain dishes less appealing, discouraging seniors from preparing balanced, home-cooked meals. Since potatoes are a good source of potassium, vitamin B6, and dietary fiber, nutrients important for maintaining heart health, nerve function, and digestive regularity, it's worth ensuring they remain enjoyable to eat. The ideal way to store potatoes is in a cool, dark, well-ventilated place, such as a pantry or cellar, at temperatures between 45 degrees Fahrenheit and 55 degrees Fahrenheit, 7 degrees Celsius to 13 degrees Celsius. Light exposure should be avoided because it can lead to the formation of solanine, a naturally occurring toxin that can cause digestive upset and, in larger amounts, more serious health issues. This is why potatoes should never be left out in bright light for extended periods. Tomatoes are one of the most widely consumed fruits in the world, but many people unknowingly strip them of their best qualities by placing them in the refrigerator. A perfectly ripe tomato is bursting with natural sugars, acids, and aromatic compounds that work together to create that rich, garden-fresh flavor. However, when tomatoes are stored at temperatures below about 55 degrees Fahrenheit, 13 degrees Celsius, the cold damages the delicate membranes inside the fruit's cells. This damage leads to a mealy, grainy texture that feels dry in the mouth rather than juicy and refreshing. For seniors, this change is more than just a matter of taste. Many older adults find softer, mealy tomatoes less appetizing, which may lead them to eat fewer fresh vegetables overall. Since tomatoes are an excellent source of vitamin C, potassium, and lycopene, a powerful antioxidant linked to heart health and cancer prevention, losing enthusiasm for eating them could mean missing out on these benefits. Cold storage also slows down enzymatic processes that continue to develop flavor and antioxidant potency after harvest. This means that a tomato taken from the fridge not only tastes dull, but may also contain fewer beneficial compounds than one left to ripen at room temperature. Another point often overlooked is that tomatoes' appealing aroma is as important to the eating experience as their taste. The cold diminishes the activity of certain enzymes that help release these aroma compounds. Without that fresh, summery scent, the sensory experience is incomplete, and the brain may register the food as less satisfying. This can be especially relevant for older adults whose senses of taste and smell may already be diminished due to age, medication use, or health conditions. The best way to store tomatoes is to keep them in a single layer, stem side up, at room temperature, and away from direct sunlight. If you have a batch that is slightly underripe, letting them sit in a paper bag with a banana or apple will accelerate ripening naturally without refrigeration. Once they are perfectly ripe, it's best to eat them within a day or two for peak flavor. In cases where you must refrigerate a tomato to prevent spoilage, such as when it's overripe and you cannot eat it immediately, allow it to return to room temperature before consumption. This can help restore some of its lost flavor compounds, though it won't completely reverse the texture changes. Onions add depth and aroma to countless meals, from hearty soups to fresh salads. However, when stored improperly, especially in the refrigerator, they can quickly lose their quality and even become a health concern. Refrigeration exposes onions to cold, damp air that accelerates spoilage by encouraging mold growth. While mold may start on the outer layers, it can spread inside the bulb, making the onion unsafe to eat. For seniors with weakened immune systems, even mild mold exposure can trigger allergic reactions, respiratory irritation, or gastrointestinal upset. The refrigerator's humidity also encourages onions to sprout prematurely. While sprouted onions aren't toxic, they often have a bitter flavor and tougher texture, making them less pleasant to cook with. The sprouting process changes the onion's chemical composition, increasing certain compounds that may irritate the digestive system for individuals with sensitive stomachs. In addition, the strong aroma of onions tends to permeate other foods in the fridge, affecting the flavor of nearby items such as butter, cheese, or desserts, something many home cooks find frustrating. Another consideration for older adults is respiratory sensitivity. When onions spoil or develop mold in the fridge, they can release airborne particles that may irritate the nasal passages and airways. Seniors with asthma, chronic bronchitis, or other lung conditions may notice coughing, sneezing, or shortness of breath after exposure to spoiled onions. This makes proper storage even more important for maintaining a safe kitchen environment. Onions fare best when kept in a dry, well-ventilated space at room temperature. A mesh bag or loosely woven basket allows air to circulate around each bulb, reducing the risk of moisture buildup. Storing them away from potatoes is also important. as potatoes release moisture and gases that can cause onions to spoil faster. If you have peeled or chopped onions, these should be refrigerated, but only for short-term storage, ideally in an airtight container, to contain their odor and minimize bacterial growth. Coffee is more than just a beverage. For many seniors, it's part of a comforting morning ritual. The rich aroma, the warmth of the cup, and the gentle boost of alertness can be a treasured start to the day. But coffee's distinctive flavor comes from aromatic oils locked inside the beans, and those oils are highly sensitive to storage conditions. Placing coffee beans in the refrigerator can actually diminish their quality faster than leaving them at room temperature in a proper container. The problem lies in condensation. When coffee beans are exposed to fluctuating temperatures, as happens when you open and close the refrigerator, moisture forms on their surface. This moisture promotes the breakdown of flavor compounds and can cause beans to absorb odors from nearby foods. A batch of beans stored next to last night's leftovers may subtly take on unwanted flavors, dulling that signature coffee taste. For seniors who may already experience diminished taste sensitivity due to age, medication, or health conditions, losing the vividness of coffee's flavor can make the drink far less satisfying. Refrigeration also speeds up the staling process. Coffee beans contain volatile aromatic compounds that give brewed coffee its distinctive notes, from fruity and floral to earthy and chocolatey. Cold temperatures, combined with moisture, cause these volatile compounds to dissipate more quickly, leaving behind a flat, bitter taste. To compensate, some people brew stronger coffee, which may increase caffeine intake. For seniors sensitive to caffeine, especially those managing high blood pressure, heart arrhythmias, or sleep disturbances, this can lead to restlessness, elevated heart rate, or disrupted sleep patterns. Proper storage is straightforward. Keep whole coffee beans in an opaque, airtight container at room temperature, away from light, heat, and moisture. Buying beans in small quantities and grinding only what you need for each brew helps preserve their freshness. If you must store beans for an extended period, freezing them in small, airtight portions is better than refrigerating. Just be sure to thaw only the portion you plan to use immediately to prevent repeated moisture exposure. Garlic has long been celebrated for its potent flavor and remarkable health benefits, particularly for heart health, immune function, and inflammation control. These benefits come largely from a sulfur-containing compound called allicin, which is formed when garlic is chopped, crushed, or chewed. Unfortunately, refrigeration can significantly reduce both the flavor intensity and the potential health impact of garlic. Cold temperatures encourage garlic to sprout, producing green shoots from the center of each clove. While these shoots aren't harmful, they tend to be bitter and may overpower the garlic's natural sweetness. More importantly, sprouting signals a change in the clove's chemical makeup, often reducing its allicin content. For seniors looking to use garlic as part of a heart-healthy or immune-supportive diet, this loss can mean missing out on valuable protection against oxidative stress and inflammation. Refrigeration also tends to make garlic rubbery in texture, which can make it harder to chop or mince. This may discourage its use in daily cooking, leading to a gradual reduction in dietary variety and nutrient intake. Since garlic has been linked to benefits such as lower cholesterol levels, improved blood circulation, and reduced blood pressure, consistent consumption is particularly valuable for older adults managing cardiovascular risk factors. The ideal way to store garlic is in a cool, dry, and well-ventilated location, such as a mesh basket or open container on the counter. Avoid sealing garlic in airtight plastic bags or containers at room temperature, as this can trap moisture and promote mold growth. When properly stored, whole bulbs can last several weeks to months, maintaining their full flavor and nutrient profile. If you have peeled cloves or chopped garlic that you wish to keep for later use, Refrigeration in a sealed container is acceptable for a few days, but it's important to use them quickly. Another option for long-term preservation is freezing chopped garlic in small portions, such as in an ice cube tray with olive oil, making it easy to add to dishes without losing much of its health-promoting potency. Honey is one of nature's most remarkable foods, prized not only for its sweetness, but also for its antibacterial, antioxidant, and soothing properties. It has an almost indefinite shelf life when stored correctly, thanks to its low moisture content and natural acidity, which inhibit bacterial growth. However, refrigeration disrupts this perfect balance, causing honey to crystallize rapidly and sometimes leading to changes that affect its health benefits. When honey is chilled, the natural sugars, primarily glucose, begin to form crystals. While crystallized honey is still safe to eat, the gritty texture can be unappealing, especially for seniors with sensitive teeth or dentures. Some may find it harder to spread, leading them to use less of it or stop using it altogether. Since honey can be a gentle natural sweetener for those reducing refined sugar intake, discouraging its use may unintentionally push seniors toward less healthy alternatives. Cold storage can also affect honey's natural enzymes, such as glucose oxidase, which plays a role in producing hydrogen peroxide, a compound that gives honey some of its antibacterial power. Over time, refrigeration may reduce the activity of these enzymes, slightly diminishing honey's therapeutic potential for soothing sore throats, aiding digestion, or supporting wound healing when used topically. From a nutritional perspective, honey contains trace amounts of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that can contribute to overall wellness, particularly for older adults looking for gentle immune support. Keeping honey at room temperature helps preserve these compounds, ensuring that each spoonful delivers its maximum benefit. The best place to store honey is in a tightly sealed glass jar in a cool, dry cupboard, away from direct sunlight. This environment maintains honey's smooth, pourable texture and keeps its flavor vibrant. If your honey does crystallize over time, a natural process that can occur even without refrigeration, it can easily be restored by placing the jar in a bowl of warm, not boiling water, and stirring until the crystals dissolve. Knowing which foods to keep out of the refrigerator isn't just about taste. It's about protecting nutrition, promoting safe eating habits, and making meals more enjoyable. For seniors, these factors are especially important. Proper storage preserves the natural qualities of foods, making them easier to chew, more flavorful, and richer in the vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that support healthy aging. By applying these simple tips, you can preserve both flavor and nutrition. In the end, a little knowledge about food storage goes a long way toward making every meal a pleasure, every bite nourishing, and every ingredient a partner in healthy living.